Hi and welcome to another review. I'm Ruben. I'm doing Solo, a Star Wars story. I was really surprised what I've been hearing about this film is that it hasn't actually had a lot of hype, and whether that's to do with The Last Jedi, with a lot of fans disliking that film, and maybe it's to do with we've had two Star Wars films now really close back. So in December we had obviously The Last Jedi.
Go away!
And now it's just 5 months later, and so there seems to be not a lot of hype around this next installment. And the mess up with the director, so we ended up having Ron Howard, who I personally really like as a director, but there was a lot of kind of grumblings about that. Yeah, so I was really nervous when I went into this film, didn't really know what to expect, and then it didn't really help that they started the film with no audio. They sorted that out and I got to watch Star Wars.
You might want to buckle up.
Well, the script is basically answering those questions that sometimes you get when you ask yourself when watching Star Wars, depending on what Star Wars you're watching. It's like, how did Han Solo meet Chewie? What about the Millennium Falcon? What about Lando Calrissian? And all those kind of small questions. It's a film that you didn't really know that you wanted, or maybe you do. It poses a similar question like Rogue One, which a lot of people have been saying, did we even need Rogue One? I really liked Rogue One. I think what they did with it was excellent, even though you knew it was gonna it's a Titanic film, Rogue One. You knew what you were gonna get.
I've got a bad feeling about it.
Quiet.
What?
I think this time we didn't know what we were gonna get. So obviously it's about Solo, but predominantly it's a heist film, and I didn't think they could do anything else with that really, because as you know, as we know Han Solo's character in the future films, he is a rebel. Who's
scruffy looking?
He does like to steal a bit of cargo, and he skates that line between good guy and bad guy, but when it comes down to it, he is the good guy, kind of. It's that age-old story of who shot first. You tell me.
I bet you have.
It starts off with a young Han, and at first I would have to say that I didn't really like this film. In fact, my review brain was on in full motion. My review brain was on and firing questions and was thinking about this reviewing. That's not a good sign, you would probably think. For the first 20 minutes of the film, my brain was on. And then a strange thing happened. I forgot that I was in the cinema. The story captured me, and next thing I knew, the credits were rolling. And I think the film works because of three things. Firstly, because Ron Howard has allowed, for whatever reason, he has allowed the characters to have time on screen, to really stay with the characters, to develop the characters. I would say that it's quite different to Rogue One, and that's probably the best comparison to a Star Wars film we can compare it to, if you're going to compare it to something, because it's the only standalone Star Wars film that we have. I've seen other people compare it to The Last Jedi, which I think is wrong personally, because it's not a standalone film, and even then, this is a very different take. This is an Origins film. And so anyway, so Ron Howard has allowed the film, the story, to really spend time with the character. But by the time you end your journey in this film, you actually really like most of the characters. I say most, not all. There were some I just felt that didn't quite work. Which leads me to point two, is the actors. This cast is phenomenal. Obviously, you've got the Mother of Dragons. Alden, who has to fill the shoes of Harrelson, who has to fill the shoes of being Han Solo, which is a mammoth task. And at first I didn't really like him, but when Chewbacca is on screen with him, I think it works. It fits like a glove. It's like, you're seeing family on screen again. And I think that's a testament to his acting and the mannerisms that he picks up. He's obviously studied what Harrison Ford did with his character, and he's done his own thing, but for the most part, you can see how that young Harrison becomes the older Harrison. And then there's other amazing actors like Donald Glover, who plays Lando Calrissian. How cool is that guy?
Everything you've heard about me is true.
Woody Harrelson, who when he's on screen, he often is the person that you want to see most on screen. because he just has this on-screen presence. I've often said this about Woody Harrelson.
If you come with us, you're in this life for good.
And so with this great cast, and there's others that you'll notice that I don't want to spoil for you, but with this great cast working so well together, with Ron Howard in the script allowing the characters to develop, this works really well. And so for my third point is the score of this music. It actually took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. Obviously has the Star Wars theme threaded throughout, but there are occasions when the action crescendos into obviously like a big moment, and it reminded me a lot of Ghost in the Shell and Akira. There's this like high-pitched voices singing orchestral parts that are intertwined with just amazing score moments. And I was so surprised that it reminded me of Kira and A Ghost in the Shell. It's just phenomenal. It's one that it's a score now that I will have to go and buy. I don't often buy scores anymore. I listen to on Spotify and Amazon. But this is one I want to keep because I really feel like the music in this film was a character of its own. And so when you put those three things together, I think this film works really well. I was surprised that by the end of the film, I was really enjoying it. I don't think it's a perfect film. I don't know that there are many perfect films.
Great! Push it!
But I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think it's for anyone that doesn't love Star Wars or doesn't know Star Wars, I think you could watch this as a standalone. But for the fans, there are so many things that you're going to love seeing and characters develop on screen. And there wasn't one scene that I really thought dragged, and there wasn't a scene that I thought that didn't belong in the film. Because I know there are scenes in The Last Jedi which people had massive issues with. For me, a testament to itself is whether I will go watch it in the cinema again. And I have to say, I kind of do want to see it again. I've been very careful to try not to spoil anything for you. But there are moments in this film that you're not going to expect. And there are fan geek out moments. Yeah. Go and watch it. I really enjoyed this film. Sorry I'm not posting reviews that often anymore. I'm busy finishing up my first novel and I've got my second one following that coming soon. So I've been posting once a week. But I'll give you more information. My novel's coming out soon, so I've been hard at work on that. So thank you so much for joining the Ruben Tuesday. Let me know what you think of this film and whether you've seen it or whether you're going to. I hope this encourages and has informed you and maybe helps you want to go and see it. I was surprised by this film. I thought it was really good. Live long and Tuesday.